Hey there guys, welcome to ABC News Highlights. My name is Nana Kwame Bobe.
My name is Golda Abadai.
And we'll dive into our first story. So for some time now, gay rights has become a serious national conversation following Parliament's seventh effort to want to pass it. But after 3 long years, Parliament has finally passed the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Act. So basically, Ghana's parliament has voted to pass a controversial bill to severely restrict LGBTQ+ rights in a move that has been condemned by many rights activists. A coalition of religious and traditional leaders sponsored the legislation that is favored by most lawmakers and that is passed in parliament on Wednesday. It is still awaiting the president's assent to sign the bill into law, but so far, yes, parliament has voted to take it a step further. So some of the punishments include if you are caught in any activities of the LGBTQ+, you'll be jailed for up to 3 years. And also if you are caught promoting actions of the LGBTQ+ or rights, you would also be subjected to some jail term.
I mean, all of the reactions are on different sides. Some Ghanaians are happy about it, others are not. Some argue whether or not this will actually solve our issues, like our economic issues and all that. I hear the US Embassy is saying, this could have economic repercussions on us. Some people are like, they don't really care about that. They should respect our culture, and, just like they don't allow polygamy in their country, they should leave us to, Some George says there won't be any economic repercussions, but I don't know if I agree with. I think.
And I think a lot of people are treating the US Embassy press release as some sort of like threat. A lot of Ghanaians are saying, is this threatening? I think not just them, a lot of people, even Ghanaian pundits have talked about how that could affect tourism because mind you, we've had a very successful year of return, and also after the return, policies and engagements where we've had most people from the Black diaspora come to Ghana. So people are asking questions. If this is passed into law, that will make Ghana unattractive to a lot of tourists. It has happened in Uganda. When Ghana passed the bill, a lot of people didn't choose Uganda as a tourist destination anymore because it is unsafe for people like that. So I don't think it's much more of a threat than a realistic concern, but we would have some problems in some sectors.
I mean, if Parliament tells me that they didn't think about, the repercussions that will come with, passing such a law, I'll be very surprised. I just hope, they thought of ways to deal with those repercussions before, passing the law.
We trust them to have thought of ways to deal with the repercussions?
I mean, obviously, because if you think about the fact that you people are always going for loans and now you won't get the loan, you don't think, you should find a way to deal with.
Well, some people have been calling Parliament out on the incessant effort to have this bill passed, saying that they could have put that same bill in making sanitary pads free for women into more important policies. So people are asking, if you can do this, if you put your mind to it, why would you not put your mind to any other important policies that directly affect and benefit the citizenry? Why are you so insistent in doing this? But yeah, I think that the arguments are still coming up, and people are asking if the president has been cornered and if he would sign this into law, considering the fact that he has to choose between, as a human rights lawyer, doing something that is not necessarily the best fit for human rights, or actually doing something that would anger the conservative masses. It's an election year. I think it's quite a tight corner for him, but I think if you can remember, he spoke on Al Jazeera one time and said it is not unimportant to Ghanaians, and the day it is and they ask for it, he would actually look at it. So I think the time is now.
Well, we shall see what the president, decides to do. On to our next story. So I think last week in the news we found out that the finance ministry was owing ECG 1 million Ghana cedis, and as a result, there was a back and forth. Today, the parliament of this country was plunged into darkness because they owe ECG 23 million Ghana cedis. So electricity supply to the Parliament House and Job 600, which houses members of Parliament's offices, has been served due to an outstanding debt amounting to 23 million Ghana cedis. The disconnection was carried out by the National Task Force on Thursday, February 29th, following unsuccessful attempts to recover the arrears. The abrupt disconnection of electricity to key government facilities occurred as a result of the substantial debt owed. The National Task Force has embarked on a massive exercise to recover debts owed to the power distributor. And I think last week in the conversation, I kept asking, what is wrong with our public sector? Is it because they think, okay, we want things and we can do what we want, so we're not going to pay? How do you amass a debt to 23 million Ghana cedis, forgetting that these people are also working? People also need to get paid.
What is also wrong with our institutions? Why have we waited for this amount to be accumulated to this level? Why didn't you cut it before? When was it? 2 months without it? Why now?
Exactly. The first time they said we won't pay, and cut it. You let them know, okay, so if this is how it's going to go, you won't get light, so that they know that, okay, this is a business. But 23 million, Parliament.
I think in a very funny irony, a lot of people on social media are expressing the fact that at least they're experiencing a darkness too.
How long do they stay in Parliament? And
but at least I think it switches on the bulb that, hey, maybe there is actually perpetual darkness. The people are not just complaining for complaining. It's not all just propaganda, guys. We're going to move on to our next story, and still on power cuts. So recent power cuts will linger if financial constraints are not resolved, and this is coming from the Institute for Energy Security, the IES. They've warned that the ongoing power cuts in the part of Ghana may persist unless immediate and deliberate actions are taken to address underlying challenges related to installed capacity and fuel supply. They emphasize that these issues are significantly impactful and would affect the country's power sector. Part of the country, notably the capital city Accra, has been grappling with inconsistent power supplies, creating disruptions in daily life.
I mean, and I agree with minority when they say publish a timetable, release a timetable, and let us know, okay, and they will light back out so that we know. Because I mean, what is the point in denying it? Everyone can see that. I mean, I'm sure it's happening.
So, do you now say the president was ill-informed when he said that they've kept the lights on for 7 years?
Well, our lights are going out. I don't know about.
So was he ill-informed? Exactly, because I think a lot of people are asking government to release timetables whilst they actually believe they've kept the light on for 7 years. He said this during the soda. So what are you guys asking?
Please face reality.
Please face reality it is.
And our last story for the day. So Ghana is facing an ethical crisis. Reverend Ofori Boateng. So Reverend Ikwa Ofori Boateng, the Director of Programs for the Anglican Diocese of Accra, has stated that Ghana is currently facing a crisis of ethics. According to her, people tend to do the right thing only when it benefits them. Reverend Ofori Boateng was speaking on ethics, in an interview with Bernard Avle on City FM's Point of View, when she suggested that the ethical state of the country reflects the ethical state of each Ghanaian. Furthermore, she emphasized that given the current state of ethics in the country, Ghanaians could be described as almost Christian. And I'm quoting, "I would say that the state of ethics today is the sum total of the state of ethics of each of us as individual Ghanaians. If I am allowed to borrow from John Wesley and see how that develops, things can be described as almost Christian. I say we are almost Christian because many of us are ethical by the standards of the Bible, if only it serves us well. For the moment, being ethical doesn't serve us well. We become less and less ethical until eventually we become downright corrupt. I would dare say that as a nation, we have a crisis of ethics." And I cannot help but agree.
I feel like there's a silent recipient.
Nana, I don't know if it was last year, I don't really remember when, but I think an issue came up about corruption, and Ifya Schwarzenegger went on to the live and she was saying that, we are sitting here just blaming the government, but as individuals, we also need to work on ourselves and all that, and people were coming for her like really hard, and I was like, I don't disagree with her. Papa, we go to just come on school. You better prepare somehow. If that develops a sense of entitlement in you, you want to go through life with that sense of entitlement. And I don't mean just that, there are other examples.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So I think that, I'm not just saying that because she's saying each of us as individuals need to work on ourselves. I mean, we're justifying that the government needs to do better. No, but I still agree that you as an individual also need to work on yourself. Because when you have that sense of entitlement, that is what you use to go up and then become a leader. And then you'll be sitting there being corrupt.
True. So I totally agree, but I also can't help to point out the fact that these cracks are also signs of a fading system.
Sure.
To be able to say I'm going to pay for it's a sign of a fading system. So I feel like people make do with what the cards are dealt with, right? So it's okay. If you see a crack, you want to enter, but if there was no crack, you wouldn't enter.
Sure.
I always say this: the whole argument it almost fits into the bigger picture of fix the country, fix yourself.
Yes.
You can only do so much when the institutions are committed to stomping down on you. So yes, these things, yes, we are not the best when it comes to ethics. Yeah, we do certain things that are wrong. You find people overcharging for prices of basic stuff in the market and they will blame something else because everybody else is doing the same. Yes, there are ethical problems we have as a citizen. That is just like every other country. But the systems can't work. And if the systems work, people would have no other choice than to work.
I don't disagree with your opinion too, because imagine that I want to get a scholarship to go to school outside this country, and there is a system set up to award scholarship schemes to people who cannot actually afford it. Then I come and you tell me that I should pay you 90,000 or 20,000 Ghana cedi before you give me that scholarship. Well, that makes sense.
So then they create the cracks. Citizens have to find their way through them to survive.
Yes. I understand that. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think we are in an ethical crisis situation? We need to fix ourselves and the country. This has been ABC News Highlights. My name is Bulda Abatai.
And my name is Nana Kwame.
For more details, please visit abcnewsgh.com. Our social media handles, abcnewsgh_. See you.